Welcome to the Southwood County Rec Center for this playoff edition of Riverkings hockey. We've got a jam-packed show for you as you watch this edition. Head coach Marty Quarters will be here, and he'll be speaking with 4 of his Riverking players, those players who wear the Captain C or the Assistant's A, and he'll be talking about the upcoming playoffs. We'll also have a segment in which we'll meet the most popular Riverking of all. Yeah, the mascot, Rowdy. Rowdy will be here, and we'll be speaking with him in a way. And then we'll be off and visiting at Polito's as one of the key sponsors of the Riverkings. We'll be stopping by there and visiting Polito's. That's up right now as this edition of Riverkings hockey rolls into March.
Welcome back to the Riverkings show. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our regular season as we get ready to head into playoffs here, and what it's going to take to help our team win 2 playoff rounds to get us back to Boston and compete for a national championship. Today I have a couple 3-year players with me that have been here playing their junior hockey. They graduated from Lincoln High School, and now they're both 19-year-olds, both have letters on their chest, and a big part of our team. So to my right here I have Cole Kreger, who's one of our captains of our team in the center, and to my left I have Zachary Hartley, and he is an assistant captain and one of our defensemen. So both have had great seasons here. And now we're getting ready to prepare for playoffs. One of our goals this season getting into the start was to end up with having home ice. And to do that in our league, you have to finish in one of the 2 top spots. So we finished with a record of 31 wins, 11 losses, and 2 overtime losses, which was good for second place. So we have locked up home ice for the first 2 rounds of the playoff. And we think that's going to give us our best chance to get back to Boston and compete for a national championship. So over. I'm going to start with Cole here to my right. Cole, what do you think some of the things that we did as a team this year that really helped us propel to lock up that home ice and finish second overall?
Really just focus on never giving up, always competing hard during practices, during the beginning of weeks, really pushing each other and making sure that we're ready for weekends, coming into the weekend ready, prepared, and just always never giving up and making sure that we know what our main goal is as a team and achieving it.
Now this year we always have done video and breakdowns of teams, but we've had a new thing called Instat with the league this year, and maybe tell our fans what Instat is and how it's helped your game and when it becomes available and all that good stuff.
So Instat is something we get the day after the night of our games, and it gives you every single one of your shifts. You can look back and watch them. It gives you stats on if you're a center, how many faceoffs you took, win or loss, your challenges, your hits, shots, and your goals or any points you got. So it really helps you can look back and see what you did in the game and what you need to do better, or what's something you can improve on the next day, or just overall how you did. So it's a real good factor to have and look back on.
Yeah, it's made it easier for our assistant coach Devin Roeder as well. He's done a great job breaking down video this year, and it's allowed him to be a little bit more specific on things, and but also he still has downloaded games because it doesn't always give you the best of what we're looking for to get ready. But right. I think it's been a huge tool for you. Do you watch it with your brother and stuff? Do you share it with Chance?
Yeah, I'll send it to my brother back home, and he'll say something that he noticed over the weekend and give me things that he thinks I can improve on for the next game.
Yeah. So it's this huge that our players get that opportunity to. They don't have to go through and break down all their shifts. Their shifts are all broken down. Every shift they take, and then it breaks down their stats. If they miss the pass, if they how many hits they have, how many times they hit the net, how many times they miss the net. So it's something that the USPHL has for all their teams. Every team in the league had to purchase it, and it's been outstanding teaching tool, not just for our team but for our individual players as well. One thing you always hear from hockey people is video does not lie. So it's right there in front of you. You get to see even myself when Devin and I watch a game. We might be really upset about something that happened, and then we watch the video, and it gives you a different outlook on it and maybe see it a little bit different. Just so the fans at home that don't know, and with our team, before a game, we usually talk to our players an hour before our start of our game, and then we come in 6 minutes before they go back out on the ice before every period. And then we talk to them after the game, what we thought, and if we win the game, we give our game pucks out and things like that. But in NHL, it's a little bit different. Coaches don't necessarily talk to the teams after the game because they want to wait and they want to watch video so they have a better idea of what really happened before they're just going on emotions or something they think they saw from the bench. So that's just a little bit of a tidbit of the higher level, how video is so important, so much so that coaches don't address their team right away after a game because they want to be able to have a better perspective, or more eyes on what really went on there. So with Hartley, how has the video helped your game, and have you caused you to make some adjustments and see some things you can improve on and things that you're still doing well?
Well, one I really like to use is it shows you breakouts and stuff and breakout passes, and shows you the ones you're successful on. At the start of the year, I was really slacking. I was at 30% or something like that. It's ridiculous. And then now it's up around 80%. So it's
So that gives you a percentage on your first pass that you make.
First pass,
like that.
I can break the puck out. Yeah.
Now, did you go back and watch your video to see yourself get butt-ended when you got the 11 stitches next to your eye there?
Oh yeah, I definitely went back and watched it, but
Nice.
can't do anything about it now.
No, it's all part of playing hockey. But you got a cage on now, so now as we prepare here for the playoffs, we've had a good long regular season. Cole, are there any things that went on this season that you think were a turning point in our team that brought us together and helped us be successful? Because to finish second overall, we were 5 points out of first. I think as a staff, we wish we would have finished first, but we didn't. But we had a really good, strong season. But any key moments that stand out that really brought the boys together and helped us be successful?
We definitely had some good additions to the team a little late in the season. Just some new players coming to the team that brought a lot to the table that definitely pushed us in the right direction. And then just all coming together and realizing we have a common goal and this is what we all want to achieve, and that we're all willing to work for it, which is a big thing to have on a team.
And Hartley, kind of the same question. Is there any key moments that stand out or key games that you could see that we turned the corner and now we're heading in the right direction?
Right. Definitely picking up some new guys. Not even just the on ice stuff, just the off ice stuff especially, is bring the team together. And I think a turning point is when we lost to Steele County earlier in the year. It kind of showed us that we still have some stuff to work on, no matter how good our team is. So.
Yeah. Now we lost to Steele County earlier in the season, and they're an improved team, and they have a really good goalie, and they're not someone we can take lightly. We just played them last weekend. They finished 7th overall, so they match up against us being the number 2 seed, and they play a team 4 games in a row. But I think one of the key turning points in the season was the game after Steele County, and I don't know if you guys know who that was or remember who we played afterward, but it was the Minnesota Showcase. And we had to go, we just lost the game against a team that we had beaten pretty handily the night before, and then the next week we had to head to Minnesota, and we had to leave early in the morning. We had an 11 o'clock game in Minnesota, so we had to hit the road about 5:30 in the morning, get off the bus, down 2-0 quick against the Minnesota Moose, who's a very good team that won the league the previous 2 years. They finished 3rd this year. And then we found a way to battle back and not just tie the game up, but then win the game, and it's their showcase, their rink. So I think that was a big turning point. And then I would say probably the Hudson game when we're down 2 goals. With 8 minutes to go in a game, and we find a way to score, really score 4 goals in the last 5 minutes of the game to win in front of a big crowd. And I think that gave us the confidence to never give up and to keep heading in the right direction. So I want to congratulate Cole Kreger on a great season. It's taken me 3 years to get his name right, and coaching his brother for a year. He called him Krieger. So everyone at home, it's Kreger. And he finished 2nd in scoring on our team this year. And led in a lot of different areas. That's why he's got the C on, not just in the locker room in the community, but on the ice. And Cole, great job on our special teams. He's our number 1 penalty killer. He carries us on the power play and helps set things up here, and then plays a lot of minutes for us. So great job in leading the boys, and let's keep leading them now.
Oh yeah.
And then Zach Hartley, it's really unique to have both these guys here because they both came in at the same time, same age. They were juniors in high school when they first got here.
I was a senior.
You were a senior, but you were a junior.
Yeah.
But the same age. They lived together. and they've walked the same path now for 3 years. They're good friends off the ice, and great season, Hearts. You battle back. Had some injuries last year. This time, you were playing through some injuries and didn't really play the way you needed to play and the way we needed you to play in the season. But now you're rolling, and I thought you had a great year here. Keep you out of the box. You're much better on the ice, and now I know you're ready to battle and being. Congratulations on having another shot to try to get back to Boston. And if we make it back to Boston, which is our goal, these two guys will be their second trip there. So congratulations on a great season, and let's keep it rolling, huh?
Right on, let's do it.
Welcome back to the Riverkings show. Now we have two other players with us that are both captains on our team. As you're going to see, we have our brand new hoodies that we get for playoffs, and the theme behind it is that we're getting ready to go to battle. So we go with the camouflage. This year we have the black, gray, and white, which came out really nice. If you see on our sleeve here, one of our big sponsors is also our locker room sponsor, Midwest Cold Storage and Logistics. Kara McDonald and her family sponsoring our hoodies for us a second year in a row. And we're really proud of these, and we're really excited to hopefully wear them for another 3 weeks here, and then have them as something to carry on after the year. Both these guys have Harold Jurgens is one of our captains with Cole Kreger, and Pat McCoy is one of our assistant captains with Zach Hartley and Jared Stevenson. So all the players have their numbers on, and then if you're a captain or assistant captain, you have an A or a C on yours. So we have our new hoodies and ready to go. You guys ready to go for playoffs, boys?
Yes, Coach.
Yes,
Okay.
Coach.
Now, Harold's joined us last year, halfway through the season, and had a big role for our team. And this year, not only is he one of our captains and one of our top defensemen, he also was, believe it or not, our leading goal scorer, which you don't see a lot of times as a defenseman. So 21 goals, 55 points, right?
Yep.
So good, strong season here. And you missed a few games when you were trying out overseas for your national team.
Games.
2 games only?
Yep.
Okay. And then we have Pat McCoy here, who finished second scoring,
Yes, Coach.
tied with Cole.
Around there, yeah.
Around there.
Just about.
Okay, so Pat comes from Connecticut. He played the last couple years for the New Hampshire Monarchs out east, and this is his first year with us, but not his first time on the show here. So congratulations on a great season, Pat.
Thank you, Coach.
And now we're getting ready for to get back to your stomping grounds and hopefully make it back to Boston here. So start off here first. Jurgens, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you live and who you live with and how that's helped your game, living with someone that you play with.
So I live with Michelle and Rebecca Forcier, and my billet brother is Jordan Steer. I think just being a D partner with him just makes our connection off the ice even stronger, and on the ice it helps us a lot more too. And then just Michelle always makes good food. It's always house clean always, so that's nice.
Yeah, so a lot like we just had Cole Kreger on here and Zach Hartley, and they live together, but they don't play together. They're not on the same line. But with Harold's and Jurgens and Jordan Steer, not only do they live together, play together, but they're also two of the top defensemen at this level anywhere in North America, I would have to say. And they both had great seasons, and I think the chemistry on the ice and off the ice, has a reflection both ways. So I think that's huge. And then Pat McCoy lives with a couple of his good friends that he's played with before out east, and now they live together. And Pat, why don't you talk about who you live with and the players you live with and how that helps you on and off the ice?
This year I'm living with Joanne Kaiser. She's one of the best there is. She's always got great food for us, an amazing house, and I'm living with one of my line mates now, Logan Harris and Jared Stevenson, and they're awesome. We always keep each other motivated, always out to do something, always busy, never laying around being lazy, which is nice, gets us into everything.
And now you played with them before out east. Why don't you talk a little bit about how you guys all ended up in Wisconsin now?
I played with Jared 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, and we became really close friends. Lived together the following year, and he came here, and he always talked about how awesome it was here. So I decided it'd be a good fit for my final year. And last year, Logan Harris came to our team about a month in, and he's a great player, really good to play with. And he wasn't playing anywhere at the beginning of this year, and he was starting to miss it, so he gave me a call, and I told him how awesome it was here, and he ended up back, and now we're back in the same line and doing pretty well together.
Now, you had another player living with you that we traded. It was a goalie, Armin, Charlin, and the thing that's a little strange about that is Armin lives in Maine, you're from Connecticut, and then the other two guys are both from California. So,
Yeah.
and now you're in the Midwest. So you got as far east as you can go, as far west as you can go, and you end up right in the middle. So, it's a great. Joanne is all our housing families are outstanding. We have people that want to house our players now, and we're pretty choosy and picky about trying to find a great fit for them. But Joanne is our longest standing housing parent. She housed Cole Kreger's brother when we were in Stevens Point and we were called the Saints, and now she's continued on and she handles our merchandise. So, which brings me to our hoodies here. So, why don't you guys talk a little bit? I'll go back to Pat here. Talk a little bit about what our theme is for playoffs, and about having the hoodies and how we're kind of doing things a little bit different now this time of year, and what it means to you being a 20-year-old going into playoffs right now.
Our biggest theme this year going into playoffs is just nobody cares. We got to work harder at all times. And as a 20-year-old, it's really big for me and the other 20-year-olds and even the younger guys, but to get to Boston, get more exposure out there for more schools, more junior teams out there, let them know that we're the real deal out here, that it's not a joke out here. And yeah, it's just big to get out there. It's a lot of coaches are more open to taking guys when you get out that far. It'll show a lot.
Yeah, well, guys from winning teams, right? Everyone wants, all coaches want to win, and they want players that have that experience. So, why don't you talk a little bit about the hoodies, what they mean to you, and kind of what they represent, and when we wear them and when we don't wear them, and all that good stuff.
I mean, it's, as coach says, playoffs. It's a new season, so it's always best to get like a new fresh start, new fresh hoodies. I don't know, we gotta wear them all the time wherever we go. Come to the rink, you gotta wear them after practice when we're stretching. When you go home, you gotta wear them all the time.
And why is that? Because they're in playoff mode, right?
Yeah, because we're in playoffs. We're
That's all
going to
thinking
battle.
about right now. Our season could end Saturday night. I mean, realistically, but we hope that's not the case, and we're going to do everything possible to make sure that it doesn't end Saturday night. We're hoping that our season ends on March 16th, and it's a big celebration when we get back here from Boston, because the 15th will be the championship game. So, any highlights in the season that you guys can think about with, that really stand out to you, that like your funniest moment, and maybe the moment you're most proud of?
I think it's always fun to come at the rink, so there's no moments that stand out. But like the proudest moment, the most proudest moment is I think I scored those 2 goals against Hudson. So it just felt really nice.
Yeah, it gave us a chance for Pat to score the next 2 goals. We were down 2-0 in Hudson with the Dan K show here, and it was our 3rd game with Dan K, and we lost one 4-2 and lost one in the shootout. And then we were at home here, and we won the holiday challenge to have Dan K and Lucas come out to Wisconsin, the first time they've traveled this far out to the Midwest, and we broke all their social media records. It was a great game, but we're down 2-0, 8 minutes to go, and their player came by and let us know that we were losing 2-0, and I think that woke us up a little bit. And then the same player took a penalty, I believe, right?
Yep.
And then Juergens here scored on the power play, which kind of ignited us in the crowd. And less than a minute later, he took the puck, went end to end, and scored again to tie the game up 2-2. And thinking that we're probably going to go to overtime, Pat McCoy, sitting to my left here, missed the puck on an icing and had to stay out because he can't change. And he stayed out on the ice. I'm glad he did, because he found a way to score a goal with about 1:45 left to give us a lead. And then his next shift, he got to empty netter and sealed the game off for us. So you got the 2 guys next to me that probably one of the most exciting games that we've ever had here at Southwood County Rec Center. And one of the biggest compliments we've had as a River King to battle back, because it wasn't just any team we were playing the first place team, a team that's been in first all year and finishing first. So I think that was a great moment, and we can all say that and fun it for that.
Definitely.
Yep, and it was also our 200th win here as the River Kings organization. So I didn't know that going in, and that was a great accomplishment for our organization to have 200 wins in less than 6 seasons, and we only play 40-some games a season. So we're really proud of that as well. Well, guys, I'm going to give you a shot one more time. Tell me probably the funniest thing that you think has happened, and keep it PG, and we'll finish up with that before we have a nice long interview with Rowdy here.
One of the funnier things is getting out on the ice with Jordy and Jurgy and trying to yell their names and mixing in a Jordy or a Jorgy. I like that every now and then.
Combine them, huh? And what's your funniest thing? You got a good sense of humor on you, don't you? You laugh a lot.
I mean, everything's funny.
Yeah.
I think just it was fun. It's fun to come to the rink.
Not one thing stands out?
Not really. Maybe some bus rides back home from road trips.
Yeah.
Those are pretty funny.
I think pretty much anytime Kyle Smith opens his mouth, we
Yeah.
all kind of laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're
One of the best times is when Kyle Smith scores, though.
yeah, he definitely earns it.
Or when he
Deserves
tries
it.
to dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that, thankfully.
Yeah.
But want to thank you guys and continue success here. And you guys, just like the first 2 guys here, are all a big part of our team, as everybody is right now, especially this time of year. And we're going to be playing hard for you, Pat, being a 20-year-old. The same as we will for Server and Jared. We only have 3 20-year-olds on our team. And now we're going to move on here, and we're going to bring Milton to ask some questions, and then we're going to talk to Rowdy a little bit. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll be right back to you with our next segment.
You're watching the playoff edition of River Kings Hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Head Coach Quarters now with us, and the most popular River King there is also with us, and that's Rowdy. Coach, tell us Rowdy's history and his story.
Well, Rowdy should be the smartest guy in the room, because they say when you listen more than you talk, you learn more, and he doesn't talk. So Rowdy came about our second season with the River Kings, and Kim Kusik, who is the mayor's mother, purchased Rowdy for us, and he actually showed up with like a whole body outfit, and then we switched it up and went with just our River King stuff, and we kept Rowdy as Rowdy, obviously. He didn't have a crown at first. Becky Johnson made the crown for us, and which related to River Kings. And as we say, Rowdy was born in the Wisconsin River over by the dam, and he's been out there on a paddle board. He's been all over the place, and he's been multiple schools. Our rink manager, Jim Arnold, does a great job in bringing in field trips with younger kids and all different kinds of groups. And one of the biggest hits is always when Rowdy's out there coming out and being in the community. We have him at everything that's going on in the summertime. He's been to a couple of different county fairs. He's been to the state fair.
Wow.
So Rowdy's made his rounds. And we also have a video of Rowdy when we had our Heritage Classic game. The themes was Rowdy and the Chicago Cougars. And they did a video, and Rowdy's all through town, and people cheering for him. It shows him working out, shows him walking down by the river. But then the funny thing about that game is Rowdy actually got kicked out of that game. He was harassing the other team. The Cougar tried to get a little tough with him, and I don't think that was a good choice on his part. And so he was removed from the game. So when we had the Dan K show game here, they reminded how he had a little bit of a tiff with Rowdy back in the past. But Rowdy settled down a little bit. He's become a little bit more of a fan favorite. And so he's great job. He really enjoys going to Grace's. His favorite pizza in town is Polito's Pizza. And this year his favorite players are Jordan Steers, Harold Juergens, and Cole Kreger. And we had 2 of those guys on. So if you look in the program, and we talk about Rowdy a little bit, and we talk about who his favorite players are.
So tell us about Rowdy's role on game night, because he's an integral part of what the experience of a fan coming to the rink is.
Yeah, and he's out there skating around. He's with the Zamboni. He's almost been hit by the Zamboni in the past. We've had some when Rowdy was a little bit inexperienced. He didn't know to look out for Jim on the Zamboni there, but he's been he skates in between periods and he does some dance moves from what I see. And then once the game's going on, he's back off in the crowd and cheering on the Riverkings and getting to know some of our young fans, which I think they really enjoy.
Yeah.
And then when we have Saturday night skate with the team afterward, he's usually out there skating around as well.
And no doubt a favorite subject for pictures with fans.
Yes, yeah, we've had some really, really good photos with Rowdy and some of our fans. And Rowdy's he really enjoys the younger fans, but he enjoys all our fans. But he's got a special connection with the younger fans and does a great job with them. And he's a good skater. He's gotten good. He's gotten pretty good through the years. So, yeah, Rowdy. We had a naming contest for him, and that's where we came up with our name. And someone won season tickets over that, and that was 5 years ago now. And we did that at the Grand Affair. And that's usually when we make our first appearance of the year as a team. And that's where the name Rowdy came from. And he used to be sponsored by Superlube, but they're no longer in town. So we're thinking about maybe finding another sponsor for him. And he's a big part of our culture and identity of the Riverkings.
Without a doubt. And we want to thank you, Rowdy, for your role in making the fan experience and being out in the community and all the things you do as the most popular River King.
Now, a thing about Rowdy, how we came about, even just our name of the Riverkings. John Schwartz and I, when he purchased the team, and we were at his son's baseball game in Chicago. He was playing high school baseball, and we were talking about what the colors should be. And we said, well, there's lakes and there's a river and there's a lot of trees, and with the paper mills and all that. So we decided to go with earth colors, with the green and the blue for the water and the trees. And then we were trying to figure out what's a good name for the team. They have the baseball team, the Rafters here, and we came up with Riverkings. And then we said, okay, what should our logo be? And we did some research, and the state fish is a muskie. So Rowdy's a muskie. And Steve Cruiser, who's walking by right now, he always teases me and tells me he looks like more of a carp than a muskie. But that's kind of the history of where Rowdy came from. And he was a big part of our team and something we're really proud of.
Absolutely.
We always wanted to get a different helmet for him, a different head. We thought maybe a blue head or whatever. And people always, we looked around, and they're pretty expensive, and it's hard to find it. And I think it's Lake Head College over by Milwaukee.
Oh, Lakeland, yeah.
Lakeland.
Yeah.
And they're the Muskies, and they have a mascot that's a blue one with a head and a little bit meaner looking. And we thought about switching that way, and then I got a lot of resistance. And this is our Rowdy. This is what they want. We said, do we need to redo his head? Nope. This is our guy here. So Rowdy, you're safe. We're not going to throw you back. We're going to keep you.
And just like head coach Quarters and the entire River Kings team, Rowdy's ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
River Kings Hockey Show will continue in just a moment on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media.
Hello everybody, my name is Colin Famini, I'm your host, and I would like to welcome you guys personally to this month's edition of the River King Show. Today, we are here with Kyle Smith. How are you doing today, Kyle Smith?
I'm doing great. How about you, Colton?
Doing great. I'm going to ask you a few questions today, and we have a few other River Kings that we're going to get on the show. And we're just going to ask some simple questions about the season, some personal questions as well, and then traveling into playoffs soon. And let's get on our way with that. So, where are you from?
I'm from Exeter, Rhode Island.
Awesome, okay. And how did you come to the River Kings?
I play on a summer league team out back home, and Jake Nitchie, former River King, came up to me one day, and he had brought up the opportunity of coming to Wisconsin Rapids to play for the River Kings. And I came out here and I visited and I met with Marty, and kind of just took off from there. I signed that weekend, and I've been here for this is my second season here.
Awesome. And how are you enjoying the second season?
It's been a lot of fun so far. We have a really good team. I think we should make a really good push at playoffs. And
Awesome. So what billets are you staying with?
I stay with the Rosenthal family. I like it a lot.
You do?
Very good food over there.
Good, yeah. Good meals, good bed to sleep in every night.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we're coming off one of our biggest weekends of the year so far. We played the Hudson Havoc, and there were some awesome games. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Yeah, we worked really hard this weekend. The first game we were down 2-1 in the third, and then we came back. We were able to push them into overtime and get the overtime win. And then the second game, we had to work hard again to come back. We were down 2-0 in the third, and then we were able to come back with a 4-2 victory over the Hudson Havoc.
With those comebacks, how do you think that we were able to manage that? What do you think? Was it the focus? What was the preparation that was able to allow us to persevere like that?
I think that we just never gave up and just kept grinding away and sticking to the systems, get pucks deep, hit, and we were able to come away with it and just hard work and
Very cool.
paid off.
Very cool. So we have 6 more games, 3 more weekends until playoffs start. How do you think that this last weekend prepared us for a successful playoff run?
It showed us that Hudson was the #1 team and is the #1 team right now, and we were able to stay right with them, and we were able to complete the season sweep with them as well. And I think that it showed that we were able to keep up with any team in this league, and we'll make a really good run in the playoffs and get to Boston and make
Awesome.
a really good run there.
Very cool. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you very much for being on here. We have a few more guests for you guys, so stay tuned. Okay, and we're here with Gabe Agner now. Gabe, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
I'm from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Only child. Started playing hockey since I was 4. Love the sport. Love this town.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How did you end up getting to the Riverkings?
So I was traded, and that was from Rochester in November, I'm pretty sure. So got traded. Austin Quarters, Marty's son, actually helped me with that trade and got me to this team, and love it here since then.
Tell us about that transition and how it's made you better or worse as a hockey player, hopefully better.
Oh, 100% better, but it's definitely just been a better environment, harder practices. Marty runs his organization really tough, well. Everything is just better in general here. So
Very cool. So we recently crushed the Rochester Vipers. That had to feel good.
we destroyed them. Yes, it was. It was a great feeling. Good to see my old teammates though. That was definitely a good moment.
True.
Saying hi to them and all them. But yeah, it was definitely a great feeling.
Very cool.
Beating them.
Awesome. And then again, we had the Hudson Havoc, a huge win.
We did.
Tell us your perspective of how that felt and maybe what went into beating a team like that.
Honestly, so going down, we were 2-0 in the third on Saturday, and they're a good team. I was definitely a little worried about that, but Marty brought us in. He said, just focus on your next shift, work really hard there, and we persevered and came out with the win.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
What lessons do you think that we learned from beating a team in the fashion that we did, and how can we carry that into the rest of our season?
I think we learned just to never give up, always keep going, and just work as hard as you can, because you never know what the outcome will be until it's over.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Thank
you being on the show with us today.
Oh, always, Colton.
Awesome. Hello. Now we are here with Mikey, or Mike. Mikey works too. And we're here at Polito's. They were kind enough to let us host a show here today, and even more kind to actually let us be sponsored by them. Now, Mikey, could you tell us a little bit about where you're from before we get into talking about the sponsorship?
I was born and raised here in Wisconsin Rapids. Lived this area my entire life.
Very cool. How did you get this job?
I was in high school when I started and started working the counter and moved my way up and became general manager.
Awesome. And could you tell us a little bit about how Polito's actually came to be a sponsor of the Riverkings?
Our old general manager, Keith Clausen, he played junior hockey, and Marty came and talked to him, and he was all about it because he likes to play hockey, watch hockey, and have more things for our community.
Oh, so cool, so cool. How do you think that the sponsorship of Plato's impacts the Riverkings?
I think it helps a lot because you guys get a decent deal when you come in here on pizza. We sponsor pizzas for you guys. We enjoy all the River Kings coming in here and eating pizza.
It is very cool. How does the Riverkings sponsorship actually affect Plato's? Do you get more business out of it?
I would say we do because we have a buy one get one free on the back of the tickets, and we see a lot of those.
Oh yeah, I've used that a couple times for sure.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys think that you will continue to sponsor the Riverkings?
Absolutely.
Awesome, very cool. And one more thing before we go, I understand that you went to a River King game before, a special one for you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I went to a game and I got to drop a puck on the ice. Me and my daughter went out there, and it was a really cool experience for both of us. And I appreciated that.
That is so cool. Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you.
thanks again for being on the show, and thanks even more for being one of our sponsors.
No problem. Thank you.
No problem. Hello again, folks at home. Now we are here with Max Moore, forward on the River Kings. Max, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got to the River Kings.
I am from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I actually signed with a team out in Minnesota and got traded out here, and I ended up out here.
Very cool. And how do you like that transition from the team in Minnesota to now the River Kings?
Oh, I love it here. It's a great town, great small town. Fans are great. I love it here overall.
So I understand that you actually work for Plato's, who is a sponsor of the River Kings. How do you like working for the River King, or for Plato's?
I love it. It's fun. It's a good atmosphere. We keep it loose in the back, and we have fun with it.
Super cool. Do you have a favorite slice here at Plato's?
Oh yeah, I love my chicken bacon ranch. That's my go-to slice.
What about your favorite dipping sauce?
Ooh, I gotta go with the garlic butter.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Garlic butter, huh?
Yeah.
That's not very good for you.
No, I know, but it tastes too good.
You're right about that. You're right about that. I'm weak for it too. So, we played the Hudson Havoc last weekend, and that was a huge game for us as a team and individually as well. How do you think you played that weekend, and how did you enjoy the games?
First game didn't go too well. Was out of position for a couple goals, but came back in the third with a big goal to tie it, to make it 2-2 to rally our team back for the win.
Awesome. There you go. And that was a huge overtime thriller. Couldn't have been done without you. Thanks, Max. We needed that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Could have done without the 2 goals though, but we'll take the one at the end to help us.
It's all right.
Yeah. And on Saturday's game, can you tell us a little bit about that too?
Saturday's game was pretty crazy. We were down 2-0 with probably about 5.5 minutes left in the game. We had Harold Juergens come back and give us 2 strong goals to give us some momentum, and Pat McCoy came back with a big goal a couple minutes later and put us ahead.
Very cool, isn't it? Yeah. So those 2 games obviously taught us a lot about perseverance. How do you think that those 2 games will affect the rest of our year?
That gives us a lot of motivation going into playoffs to never give up. Just keep battling through. It's never going to be easy, but you just got to fight through and do what you can.
Right on. You ready for playoffs?
Oh yeah, we're ready. Boys are buzzing right now.
Good. Now we have 3 more weekends, and then playoffs are coming up. What do you think these 3 weekends are going to do to prepare us for our playoffs?
This upcoming weekend is a huge weekend. We got one of our biggest rivals, the Blue Ox. We split with them a couple weekends ago, but we got to win both games this weekend to make sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm ready if you are.
Oh yeah, I'm always ready.
All right. Thanks for being on the show, Max.
Yep, thanks Colton.
Hello, folks at home. Now we're here with Jared Stevenson, a crucial goal scorer for the team, and a lovely person and teammate to have in the locker room. Jared, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got to the River Kings.
So I'm originally from Stockton, California. It's a little different over here, a little colder and everything, but I had a buddy who played on the original River Kings, Brooks Hatfield, and I was looking for a team a couple seasons ago. I got in contact with him. He explained what the team was like, what the culture was like and everything, and how it set a difference from all the other teams in the league, and it sounded very good. So I got in contact with Marty, and now I'm here a couple years later.
Awesome. So being a veteran of the team, how do you like it now? How is it treating you?
Well, I mean, being a veteran on the team, you have a lot of pull in the locker room. Like, guys look up to you in everything you do, whether it's how you act, how you play, how hard you work, anything like that. So everyone's pretty much always watching you. Everyone's looking to follow and look in the right direction.
Yeah, you're a leader for sure. I can agree with that. So you're on a shoulder injury right now. You've been practicing, but you have not been playing. When can we expect to see our leading goal scorer back?
Well, at this point, it's not really my call or anything. It's more of the bigger picture, get ready for playoffs and everything. We pretty much have a spot secured, so at this point we're just looking bigger picture.
Gotcha. Since you haven't played very many games recently with us, even though we've had some big ones, I'm going to ask you about your past. Do you have a favorite hockey memory of all time?
Probably my favorite hockey memory is from my junior year of high school. We had a really close-knit group of guys. We ended up making it all the way to the state championship and winning, and I'm just trying to set the bar even higher this year.
Wow, look at that. What a story.
It's a lot different when you win a championship with a team. You guys are brothers forever.
I'm
after
sure.
that.
I'm sure, yeah. And we recently beat the Hudson Havoc. That was a great weekend for us.
Oh, huge weekend.
You were in the stands, and we even had the Dan and Kay show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, so I wasn't expecting to be on the Dan K show. Actually, Marty Quarters, he offered me to bring them a Rowdy doll during their near the end of their show, and I went up, I handed it to them, and then Dan K offered for me to be on the show, and I tell you, I was so excited.
Tell us a little bit about that show, would you?
They pretty much asked me my predictions for the weekend, how the team's doing, how myself as an individual is doing, and they made their predictions on the team.
And then they ended up having one of their biggest shows ever. Do you think that maybe you had an impact on that?
Oh, I hope I
smiling
did.
face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
I hope I did. The pregame show was pretty awesome. So.
Very cool. Yeah, that was huge for the team and for the Dan and Kay show. Well, Jared, thank you again for being on the show.
Of course.
Appreciate your support, and we cannot wait to see you back scoring goals for us.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me.
Hello, everybody. And for our final segment of the show, we have our assistant head coach, Devin Roeder, here with us. I'm going to ask him a few questions today. Devin, how are you doing today?
Good, Colton. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for asking. So, can you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
I'm originally from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Very cool. How does one come from Lincoln, Nebraska to the Riverkings and end up being the assistant coach?
Originally, I went to a showcase game, and Marty was there scouting, and I knew Marty from when he coached in Sioux City. My dad used to work for the Lincoln Stars, so he knew of Marty when he was an assistant coach in the USHL. And once Marty contacted me to play for him, it was kind of my family agreeing, and this was going to be the best spot for me to grow and be a better hockey player. And then came up to visit my billet family one summer, and I talked to Marty about getting into coaching, and he offered me the job, and it was hard to turn down.
Wow, player to assistant coach. That's awesome. Very cool. How do you like being a part of the team so far in your current position?
Oh, I love it. Working with Marty and learning from him is definitely a humbling experience. I'm learning a lot from a great coach and a great man, and then the team's just fantastic. You guys are a pretty good group of kids. So,
what is your role on the team?
I'm the assistant coach, so I'm kind of just helping Marty get everything prepared, making sure you guys are ready, getting game film downloaded, and getting notes for you guys already.
Awesome, yeah. So we just beat Hudson in epic fashion. Could you tell us how those two huge wins will actually help us in our final 3 weekends of the season?
Yeah, with the sweep last weekend, we're sitting in second right now, 3 points behind Hudson, and they have a game up on us. So they've played 39 games. We are at 38 currently, and as of right now, those next 3 weekends are going to be huge. I mean, if we can play River King hockey and get some wins, I mean, we might be sitting in good position coming to playoffs.
And I think we can do it. How about you?
I think you guys can if you play right.
Awesome. And then after those 3 weekends are up, we got playoffs. And how do you think we will be heading into playoffs?
I think last weekend helped. You guys battled back and you were determined to win. And I mean, that's going to come up huge in playoffs. You got a 3-game series, and it's best of 3. So, I mean, you guys got to battle, and you're going to work hard, and I know you will. But, I mean, it comes down to a dogfight. It's who's going to want it more, and you guys proved that you can do that and play like that last weekend.
For sure. What do you think your favorite memory of this year was so far?
Seeing you guys get interviewed by Dan K, I think that was a huge moment for you guys. You guys got to celebrate. We've had some tough Dan K moments so far this season, and seeing you guys get interviewed and lifting that cheese curd cup was definitely
That was
my
a great
favorite
experience
memory.
for all of us, for sure. A lot of fun. So obviously there's a lot more to hockey than just the playing time on the ice. What do you think the biggest lesson that every individual on the team has learned, just like a life lesson from playing hockey?
That's a good question. I mean, you guys definitely mature on and off the ice with helping the community and being on the ice with Marty. And I think you guys learn a life lesson of just working hard and trying to succeed in life, because I mean you only get one kick of the can. So I mean, you're gonna work hard, and especially on ice, you guys work hard every day, and off ice, you work hard in the weight room. So I mean, I think that's a big life lesson for you guys, is working hard and giving it your all. I think that's a good one.
That's a great answer. All right, thanks for being on the show, Devin. Really appreciate it. And then even more so, the Riverkings cannot be what they are without our fans today. And Devin, the rest of the team, and Coach Quarters would like to send a personal thank you to everybody who watches the show, everybody who comes out to the games, and everybody who supports us on and off the ice. Thank you.
As our March edition, the playoff edition of Riverkings hockey, comes to a close, I asked our producer, Art Napgezek, if he would allow me to share a short story with you as the conclusion of this month's edition. It's the moment that I fell in love with hockey. You see, I wouldn't be here announcing River King games on Friday nights and acting as a host of this River Kings program if I hadn't fallen in love with hockey in February of 1980. Yeah, it's the moment that many of you fell in love with hockey. It was when the U.S. Olympic hockey team pulled off the miracle on ice in Lake Placid. I was 19 years old, a college student at the time, and I'll never forget the moment on Friday night, February the 22nd, 1980, when I was sitting at home eating supper, watching a rerun of MASH on Channel 7, when a scroll came across the bottom of the screen that said the United States hockey team had defeated the Russians 4-3. Unless you lived in that time, unless you knew about the greater implications of a simple hockey game, you'll never understand how profound that moment was. And yet it was not my favorite moment of the 1980 Olympics. That came early on Sunday afternoon, after the Americans had won the gold medal and the medal ceremony was completed, and Captain Mike Eruzione turned to his teammates and waved his arms and waved all 19 of his teammates up on to the medal stand that day. That 2-week period of the 1980 Olympics made me a hockey fan. And from that moment on, I followed the Wisconsin Badgers, and Bob Johnson and Jeff Sauer and all of the great Badger teams. I fell in love with the New York Islanders of Brian Trottier, Dennis Potvin, and Mike Bossy. I've been a lifelong hockey fan. My dad and I built a rink out behind the garage, and there was a group of about 6 or 8 of us in the tiny town of Arpin who played backyard hockey. And it's all because I fell in love with hockey for the last 2 weeks in February of 1980. There's been so many memories shared, retrospectives on television this year. I'm thankful to Art to have the opportunity to share that story with you. And thank you for watching River King Hockey right here on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media.